Hey guys, welcome back, I'm Jay. In this episode, we're going to look at the S3 Lifecycle Rules. S3 Lifecycle Rules help manage objects, so that they are stored cost-effectively throughout their lifecycle. You can apply lifecycle rules on a bucket, and move objects between different storage classes, and delete them after the expiration. You can set the lifecycle rules for all objects in a bucket, or objects with specific prefixes or tags. Lifecycle rules can also manage the lifecycle of multiple versions, if you've enabled the object versioning. You need to configure lifecycle rules at the bucket level. There are two types of actions which you can define in an S3 lifecycle configuration. Transition actions define when objects transition to another storage class. For instance, you can transition objects to the S3 standard IA class after 30 days, or archive objects to the S3 Glacier class after 1 year. Expiration actions specify when objects expire, and S3 deletes expired objects on your behalf. When an object expires, S3 marks the object for removal and removes it asynchronously. There might be a delay between the expiration date and the removal date. You are not charged for storage time associated with an object that has expired. S3 lifecycle rules also work with S3 versioning. You can create lifecycle rules to define storage class transitions for the current version and previous versions. For example, you can transition old object versions to S3 Glacier after they become non-current. There are additional costs associated with the lifecycle transition requests. Lifecycle transitioning to S3 standard class is free. It costs 1 cent per 1,000 requests for transitioning objects to intelligent tiering, standard IA or one-zone IA, and 5 cents per 1,000 requests for transitioning to Glacier and Glacier Deep Archive. Lifecycle rules can be helpful in the following use cases. Suppose you have a server which sends logs to an S3 bucket periodically. Your application needs to read logs for 30 days. After 30 days, you only need to access them occasionally. You can apply lifecycle rules to transition these logs to S3 standard IA class. Your real-time data analytics application requires to access new data in S3 in the first 24 hours. After 24 hours, you are required to archive these data for a year. You can use lifecycle rules to transition them to S3 Glacier class. You are storing large media files that are frequently updated. You've enabled versioning and keep previous versions as backups. You can use lifecycle rules to transition previous versions to a lower cost storage class. Some regulations require financial institutions to keep transactional data for a certain time. You can archive financial data into S3 Glacier class for a fixed term, and let S3 delete them after the expiration. In this episode, we've learned that you can use lifecycle rules to manage the lifecycle of S3 objects. Lifecycle rules support two types of actions: transition actions and expiration actions. You can set the lifecycle rules to transition objects to another storage class, or expire objects after a certain time. Lifecycle rules work with S3 versioning. You can create lifecycle rules to define storage class transitions for the current version and previous versions. Okay, that's all for S3 lifecycle rules. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.
Hope you've enjoyed watching this episode. If you liked the video, please help us and hit the like button. If you want to watch more tutorials, please subscribe to the Cloudemy TV channel. Make sure to turn on the notification and stay tuned. At Cloudemy, we're passionate about cloud and AI technology. Please share your feedback and thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to watch. Happy watching and happy learning.